Flowers bloom around a secret footpath. Petals open toward the sun as it peeks through the fading misty clouds at last. Its rays give off a fresh warmth, even as droplets softly patter from an occasional tree. The path is narrow, and they walk side by side, his left arm draped over her shoulder. Water drips from the leaves as their legs brush against the bushes on either side of them. Their soft laughter hangs in the air together with the sweet smell of rain and spring, a fresh start in a dreary world. Neither of them know where the winding path might lead them, and the joy on their faces as the sunlight sparkles in their eyes makes it clear that they don't care. They don't notice the subtle way the trees began to thicken as their shadows lengthened. The sun dips over the horizon, and the land goes dormant. Water drips down her leg and into her shoe. She starts to shiver. The rain begins to fall. His arm drops to his side, pauses as she stumbles in front of him. He reaches out to help her, but she keeps walking ahead, doesn't look back. It feels wrong to him, somehow, walking single file. The silence grows until even it feels almost cold to him. He calls out to her and she quickens her pace, her body trembling as the trees turn blue and gray under the darkening sky. He begins to panic as the distance between them continues to grow with the strength of the rain. He starts to yell. Her steps quicken into a run. Shocked, he sprints after her, ducking under the branches of a great oak tree that crossed over the path. Its roots jutted in all directions, but his gaze was fixed ahead. His feet were quickly tangled as he fell headlong in the mud. Slowly, he raises his head, watches as she pauses, looks back at him. Rain is falling freely off her face now, making her appear to be crying, but her eyes are cold. Turning, she continues to run, and soon disappears behind the branches and leaves. Tears began to fall down his cheek, inevitably mixing with the rainwater, for they were one and the same. He understood that now. The playful trickle of droplets in the bushes earlier that day, the rain that separated them in the cold, the storm that scared her off, it had all come from within. The storm was his. A man sat alone on a dock, looking out at the sea as the sun set beneath the horizon. It was a quiet night, the only sound being the light rustle of the palm branches as they swayed in the evening's cool breeze. It should have been a pretty night, but who's to say what should have been? The cold gray sun slowly gave way to the only color left in the world, the deep blue of night, the color of the moon on the waves. Had anyone survived? But no, there was no point in turning around. Nothing lay behind him, only the cold, only the void and the voices crawling toward his subconscious. No, there was nothing there. Isn't it odd how the man didn't feel the drops as they splashed against his face? But what was there to feel, really? Should he feel pain now, after enduring the final attempts of the other? What was there to feel, really? Should he have felt pain when he finally turned his back on the monster? When its last tentacle receded into darkness and he had finally escaped the clutches of that awful thing? Did he have felt the trails of blood they left on his skin? He looked out now, whispering the name of that monster he had finally overcome. Sanity, he whispered, a cold tremor in his voice. I'm free. He thought that when he had finally gotten here to that beach, he would laugh, a rainbow of projections that sparkled and burst until they revealed their secrets. He would have nothing to worry about, no one to care for. He should be relieved, finally able to chase the nothing until he seized it and discovered its recipe. But who's to say what should have been? What was it like then, anyway? Was it always this dark out? Why was the night sky the only source of light? Why must the sun suck everything away until he couldn't hear the nothing? Where did it all go? What did it mean? Where was she? Where was she? It was odd, really. He knew that there was nothing here, but he didn't know he would still be able to tell the difference. Was there some illusion at play? Some final cruel twist of the knife from the last battle? Why couldn't he choose what was not? Why was that which wasn't there still here? They're still here. No matter where he faced, they were still in front of him. Even now, as he looked out on the sea, he saw the tentacles in the waves, far off, unable to see him. unable to care that he was here. He wanted to laugh. He wanted to chase the absurdity of it all. But that part of him had died back there. All that remained was the cold and the not red stains and the wind and the droplets. He would never find it. The void was never empty.